So let's talk today a little bit about full animation and limited animation. Limited animation usually is done for TV, and it started back in the 50s when the movie studios closed down their animation studios. Such as MGM, and this threw a lot of people out of work. People that knew how to do full animation. And Bill and Joe, who ran that studio's animation department, the MGM animation department, came up with a way to do less expensive animation, which they called limited animation, which would not spend as much money making so much artwork and do away with a lot of the movement. And the less movement that these characters are doing, the fewer drawings they're making, the less expensive the product. And so what that looked like was a very stiff looking TV show compared to a very fluid looking feature cartoon. And in that feature cartoon, there would be so many drawings of a character as he would go through his motions. And the drawings take so long to do and to clean up. And they go to the assistant animator and the ink and paint department. Let's say this guy's wearing some pants here. And his arms are out in front like this. Well, every time somebody is doing a drawing, and that drawing has to be cleaned up, and then in between to the next drawing, that costs the producer money. And so what the producer is always doing is saying, how can we get these cartoons out quicker and pay less money to make them? And the answer is to do fewer drawings. Fewer drawings means fewer people touching the drawings. And the less people touching the drawings, the lower the cost for the finished film. And so let's say you have this guy's drawing like this. Well, for him to make any kind of move, you have to do another drawing. And just to get him to start moving, you have to slow out of that pose, and the entire body is going to move. And his hand might close up a little bit like this. And he may bend down a little bit. He may stoop down a little bit. So his legs are moving as he does a bit of a crouch. And this arm is going to come down like this. His head's going to come down like this. He's going to close his eyes. Kind of like that. His eyebrows are going to go up. His hair is going to go up because he's making this move. His arm might even go like this and then up, so his shoulders go up as he does this move. All this has to be figured out. There's going to be more drawings, more in-betweens there. He's going to go down like that. And then however many in-betweens go there. This might be 7, and this is 1. And you may slow out of that one, so it's here, and then it would go like this to that one, and this is thirds in there. So now we've got 2, 3, 4. We may do a 5 in there, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we may slow into it, so there's a 6, and that's halfway, and then this is halfway there. Now we've got 7 drawings, 7 animation cells. All this stuff is figured out. Trying to slow into this move, slow out of that move. And you're getting, the producer is going, well, can you do it with fewer drawings? Because his next thing after that's going to be, he starts here, he goes down. His next pose may be leaned back a little bit like this, with his head up and his eyes like looking down, his eyebrows way up, his nose up here so we don't cover too much of the eye. And his mouth he's a smiley guy, so his mouth's going to be open like this. As he says, yes, hey. Maybe his body's going to bow out this way, keeping his legs in the same place. His shoulder's going to come up like that as he puts his arms. One arm's going to be a little bit towards us, so it's a little bit bigger. And this arm's going to be kind of away from us, so it's a little bit smaller. And his hair is flapping back this way as he and this might be drawing 11 coming from 7, and we want to pop into that, so we do the drawings close there. As a third, and then that's a third or a half. And all these drawings are done for this movement. Whereas if you were doing limited animation to save money, and you had this drawing, you might have the guy just stay in that pose, and you might separate his arms out so his arm does this. And this arm does that. And everything else just stays the same. He's just frozen there. This is what we would call a trace back, because you're tracing everything. His head may stay where it's at. And there's his nose. And his eyes may stay where they're at, like that. Eyebrows, the hair is all the same. But then they would put another sheet down. They would leave his mouth off. And put a sheet of paper down that would have just his mouth on it. And that would be a D mouth. So an assistant or in-betweener is now just in-betweening the arms. The arms might be on a separate level also. And it looks very stilted and stiff. If you're really good at it, you can make it work and hide the limitations of it. If you've got enough experience behind you of how to do full animation, you can do limited animation and make it look fairly smooth. If you're just trying to save money, it's going to come off just very stiff. So that's your big difference. And so you wouldn't even use wild poses like this, because that's more money spent trying to clean those up, make them look right. A guy could spend an hour just cleaning up this drawing to make it look just right. So go back and look at those old cartoons. I know you guys think old cartoons means the 90s or the early 2000s, but I mean old cartoons from 80 years ago that Disney made. And you'll see such a difference in the movement and the style of how the characters move. And that's the difference between limited animation and full animation, basically. And I'll go into it in some more detail, but you should have seen my videos by now of planning out Scooby and Shaggy movements using exposure sheets and layouts and animation drawings, and how I limited everything to parts at some point. But that's the big difference between full animation and limited animation, is how many drawings are you doing? Is it personality animation? And you're doing this to this to this. Well, we'll do another lesson soon. Anyway, keep drawing and keep having fun, and study up some old stuff and pick out the kind of animation you want to do. And we'll see you next time.